They won 3 from 4. A couple of chaotic games there, including Lamachani needing to get 40 with the bat to pull off a miracle. I think that was against Papua New Guinea. And then they won 4 on the bounce at home to win 11 from 12. The 11 miracles in 12 games that rounded out that last series. We're not quite towards the latter stages of this competition yet, but Nepal are certainly raising the pulses, raising the heart rates yet again. And this Cricket World Cup League 2 table, if they close out this win now, which surely they're going to do, well, it is going to be an absolute logjam by December 2025. I'll tell you that much. And we'll be in for a fantastic and spectacular finish. I think any one of 7 teams could take those 4 spots now. Maybe just the UAE in trouble. But this is too tall a task, surely, for Arjan Dutt and Paul van Meekeren. It's not their job to do it with the bat. Lamachani's been brilliant today, Mel.
Yeah, he has. But you could say that about any number of players, particularly in this bowling lineup, Lenny.
Nicely driven down the ground. The problem is that scoreboard pressure is going to come into play. Kept saying that because of the quality of spin that they have, they could do that, and I think that's going to be the case. They may end up being bowled all out, but a lot of those wickets have come because of the pressure of that scoreboard, because of the required run rate spiralling. It's now over 2 runs a ball needed. 30 required, sorry, exactly 2 runs a ball, 30 required, 15 balls to do it. The penalty runs may matter not. Big appeal. Sandeep Lamachani's convinced, but the umpire is not. Wrapped him on the pad. No bat involved. What's this missing? Well, outside the line, isn't he? Good decision. Lalit Rajbanshi's just been asked to run 75, 80 yards to switch with Arif Sheikh because for some reason they didn't want Rajbanshi out at long off. I don't know why he was there in the first place. I don't think that's where Paul van Meekeren's going to hit. Everything will target the leg side here. There's 2 men in the deep out there. Beautiful June sunshine bathing the ground. That's exactly where he's going to try and hit. We'll just get a single.
But you go back to those 3 away wins in the UAE. Different proposition coming to Scotland and winning.
And also,
3.
with due respect, Mel, to the UAE and PNG, different quality and calibre of opposition. We're talking about 2 of the best associate teams that there's been across the course of the last decade. This is a Dutch side that were beating South Africa and Bangladesh at the 50-over World Cup in 2023. This is, okay, they're missing some county players, of course they are, but they're in their home conditions, in European conditions. That'll end Sandeep Lamachani's spell. With 48 bowled, it's 209 for 9. Great effort from him today. Not at his best 2 days ago. None for 69. Look at the turnaround today. 10 overs, 3 for 39. Maybe the headband is the secret, the magic potion. I think we'll see that next game too, won't we?
I think we will, knowing the way that many cricketers work. Yeah, that just the 3 wickets, economy rate of 3.9, did exactly what he needed to today. And
he's then wearing the headband as kind of a double wraparound on the wrist, so definitely some kind of a lucky charm. Looking forward to hearing the story behind that.
More multi-purpose.
So Yadav will bowl his 9th. He's got a chance for a 4-wicket haul on debut.
So what you were saying about the calibre of opposition and the very different conditions, then I think we make a case that this has been their best performance away from home during the ICC Cricket World Cup League 2.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I speculated if they could win 2 from 4 in these conditions, they'd be doing really well. For the Dutch, though, we've got questions to answer. Unless they can pull off a miracle here, that's not going to help. Big swing and a miss. 28 it is to win off now just 11 deliveries. They are staring down the barrel of 4 defeats on the bounce. And you think this is a Dutch side who got a rude awakening and a wake-up call out in Muscat in Oman. But then they turned it all around. They won 5 on the bounce after that. And if you include the defeat to Scotland that rounded out their home series, it will be 4 defeats in a row.
And they've got to turn it around. They've still got a game to play against Scotland. And they certainly, if they don't want to make it 4 from 4, they definitely don't want to make it 5 from 5.
It's a good shot just over the head of Rohit Paudel. Bounces off the turf, but the skipper somehow drags it in. Unbelievable effort. Very nearly creates a run-out chance too. They'll end up getting 3. Well, we've seen some brilliant fielding today. Probably none better than this from the captain, Rohit Powdell, as Anil Shah looks in a spot of bother. How did he catch this one up? How did he cut it off?
Because he's superhuman. That's how, Lenny. The speed. Once he realised the catch wasn't on, he just zipped into 6th gear. That is outstanding. Even the awareness of where his front foot was sliding. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from the captain.
They've got 4 or 5 truly world-class fielders, don't they? Don't think Anil Shah will thank Nandan for that throw. 3 to the total. 25 to win off 10 now for Netherlands. Can they start to get something going? 24 off 10. Van Meekeren is capable. He's got big long levers. Constantly talks about how he's improving his batting. Can he get a couple out of the screws from this over? Because you've got to remember, I think it'll be Karen KC to bowl the 50th and final, unless he turns to Dipender Singh Hari. They're really the only 2 options.
You can't tell me there's another twist coming, Lenny. You can't tell me there's another twist coming.
Maximum this over, make it 15 off the final if you can. You just never know. Another all-time classic here in Dundee. We've seen so many good games, haven't we? Really have. Blessed for the competitive nature of this league. Every fan on their feet again. This one's powered through the offside. A really good strike. Flies to the rope. The Dutch hanging about. Van Meekeren says this game is not over yet. It flies for a boundary that silences the Nepal fans in the crowd.
Well, who cares if he's number 11? He just gave a lovely, clean swing through the ball. Well placed in the end. Not even the best dive could have stopped that one. Oh, boy, hang on to your woolly hat, Lenny. It ain't over.
It ain't over till it's over, particularly when Nepal are involved. The Dutch, they still believe. 20 to win, 9 balls to do it. Another boundary would help. Oh, misses out. And a scream of frustration. He's got to run the single. Oh, and I'll tell you something. We're not going to have an obstruction in the field call, thank God, because he just held his line, but he was too focused on his frustration of missing out. This was, well, absent-minded from Van Meekeren at best. You could hear his frustration. He thought it was there to be hit, but no appeal from Powdell or from any of the fielders. This would have been an insane end. Look at him here. He just realised he had to run at the last second. Now, the throw was wide anyway, and he didn't change his line, so nothing wrong with that. If he was run out like that to finish, well, it would have summed it all up. Dipender Singh Hari goes so quick to the ball. Van Meekeren said, we've still got to run. Okay, 19 to win, 8 to do it. They need a boundary from one of these 2 balls, and then who knows, hitting with the wind off the 50th and final. There could be life in this game yet. Oh, missed out. It was in the slot, but a little bit of tail back in. And good skills from Yadav, but should Dud have got bat on ball here.
Wow. It's a good delivery. Look at that tail in, though. That's good bowling. Look at where Anil Shah ended up taking that ball.
It's just the extra pace, isn't it, of Yadav that makes the difference. If that's coming in at KC's pace, that probably goes out of the ground. It was right in the slot, to be honest with you. But the additional velocity and the little bit of movement back in was just enough. Dutt still should have probably done more, though. 19 to win off 7. A 4 or 6 here. And we could be set up for another barnstormer. The 10th wicket trying to get it done for the Netherlands. They're still fighting. Slashed into the offside. Should be at least 1. I don't think they'll get the second. Nepal's ground fielding has really held up wonderfully well. We're going all the way to the 100th and final over for the 4th time in 5 matches. And for the 4th time, or the 3rd time in 4 Nepal matches, it's 219 for 9.
Well, cardiac kids, you've done it again. I know my heart is absolutely pounding as we look here at the bowling figures for Nepal. They should all hold their heads high. Then they're having a big discussion at the moment just about who is going to bowl this last over, I think. It looks like they've just patted Karen Casey on the back.
Well, there was only 2 options really, wasn't there? Unless they turned to a 7th bowler. Was it Dipender Singh Irie or was it Karen KC? Irie can bowl at the death. He's a good option at the death, but just wonder whether or not this is the right call. It's a tall task for the Dutch. KC's got 18 to protect. Get a couple of good deliveries away that don't go to the rope. You should be able to close it out, but never say never. He will be hitting with the breeze. Slightly, nowhere near as strong as the last few days. And if anything, breeze might have just turned about a touch. Don't know where Dutt is going to target. I've given up on predicting things with the week that we've had, Mel.
No, well, I was just going to say you're right. Those flags are flying in the opposite direction that they have been all week. I think the wind has turned around.
It may well have. And if you look at the way in which that ball died, the one that Van der Merwe hit into the offside, prevailing wind has moved. I think it means that Aryan Dutt, if anything, might target the offside. And if you look at the field, it looks like Casey's going to come round the wicket, target outside the off stump. There might be an opportunity to slash a few away here. He's just sort of shadow batting. Yeah, there it is. It's the makes it all the stranger, that circle here, Mel. Easily could see an edge for 4, an edge that could fly all the way down the hill for 6.
What you're saying is if you're going to flash hard and true.
Well, there's going to be bat speed aplenty, isn't there? Okay, 18 to win off 6. We're going all the way yet again. Can the Dutch pull it out of the fire? It would be extraordinary if they can. Here's Karen Casey. Hit down the ground, no timing. Can Van Meekeren get back for 2? I think he might have been able to, but I think he wants the strike. He's saying that he's more likely to hit boundaries than Aryan Dutt, who's only got 8 off 11.
Well, this is it. Oh boy.
What about some penalty runs? What about a no ball? What about a free hit? Is there anything we haven't seen yet today or through this series? Waist high no ball. That's what I'm calling in.
Oh, Lenny, stop it.
Sense it coming.
What are you trying to do to us? It could be anything.
Van Meekeren needs a maximum here. It's 20 runs required, the run rate now per over. Looks for a bit of innovation. That's going to be that. Nepal take a 3rd win from 4 in European conditions. Van Meekeren was trying to hit it with the wind. Arif Sheikh, fittingly, is the one that takes the catch after a career best for him with the bat. The Nepal fans are jubilant. So too in Nepal. It was a very, very interesting game. It ebbed and it flowed. But ultimately, Karen Casey, who's had the most brilliant series, has proved a little too good. A rather remarkable stroke to get out to. Arif Sheikh takes the catch and Nepal win. Nepal win for a 3rd time in the series. We've seen another cracker. They've pulled it out of the fire and they are worthy winners over the Dutch, who've got questions to answer.
Remarkable performance. They were out there first batting. You didn't think they had enough. Felt it was below par, and well, with those controversial penalty runs as well, that even made it a more difficult task to defend, but you never rule them out. And a huge, huge round of applause for the captain, Rohit Paudel. The way he moved his bowlers around and rotated them through, it was magnificent stuff. They kept the pressure on. They found wickets when needed. Yadav, what a day for him. A young man making his ODI debut. But props all around for the fielding because it was absolutely magnificent. They never, ever let the pressure off. For the Dutch, they do have a lot of questions to answer, and they'll have to come up with some answers before the next match in 2 days' time, which rounds out this particular set of matches when they take on Scotland. But they've now lost 4 on the bounce, and they do not want to make it 5. But we've had another magnificent match here. Nepal running out winners by 16 runs.
Yeah, maybe not quite the all-time classic of the 2 Scottish games, but an enthralling and engaging game from start to finish with no shortage of controversy in it, and a moment or two that will have a lot written about it, particularly the 10 penalty runs and all of the events that led to it. Even with that 10 penalty runs, the Dutch couldn't hunt down the 236 that they needed to get it to a super over, the 237 to win.